Computer.
Yeah. Okay. Hi,
Um,
everybody.
hello, hello.
Good to be here with you all.
Happy spring to all Northern Hemispherians. Spring is finally spring. And guess what we saw today? Our first butterfly.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
It was a very early, very confused butterfly. It really, there's nothing for it to eat, and I hope it's going to be all right. But jet black,
oh,
like matte black, big, jet black with a
mm,
yellow fringe
ooh,
to the rear of the wings. Very
mm,
And he was very friendly.
mm,
He came up and um, communicated with us. And
yeah.
is my understanding. I'm doing is I'm going to go to the whole Facebook page and I'm going to tell people we're at Andrew. So if they want to come over.
okay.
Ah,
So,
All right.
but what I understand is that the natural world wants to communicate with us now as our
mm,
heart opens, as we transition into higher frequencies and other dimensions and stuff, that we're going to have access to this communication that the native people have been doing all along. And I've been
mm,
wanting the trees to talk to me, and the rocks. I have native friends who have two-way conversations with rocks, so it's just as we get more and more into that space, I think we've got some exciting times ahead with the natural world.
We
So
had,
that little
we,
butterfly came to
Oh, that's sweet.
herald what's
Yeah.
coming for
Mm.
us all.
Speaking of heralding, we have hummingbirds here, right? And we have hummingbird feeders. So we have two we call Missy and Buddy. And one day, Randall and I were out walking around the lake. So it's at least a mile from here, from our house. And this hummingbird, which we both
mm,
recognized was Missy, came and just like right in front of our face. And we what? We left you food? Nope. And she was like, "What are you doing here? You're my people. You're not supposed to escape. Get back there." It was very
mm,
funny. She followed us around for a while.
Yeah,
mm,
see what I
mm,
mean? That's what's happening.
And our friends we were with last night just had their
mm,
first hummingbird come to their hummingbird feeder, first of the season.
mm.
We're quite a way north
Versus,
of you, Oriana. So you've got two
ah,
now. We got one. So spring is being slow this year.
Mm.
yeah. Well, we have milkweed that's blooming now, so you can send the butterfly down here.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Put it in
Mm.
your motorhome and come on over.
If we're on it, we're on it.
Ah,
And we are just
that
telling,
big.
just telling Wowza, we are heading your way. We're going to come
Wonderful.
Santa Fe, Arizona, Tucson, and cross over to California. But that's a separate subject from what I'm
Yes.
about. Are we ready to have you introduced yourself yet?
No, but I'm just
Shall I
trying.
introduce you?
Sure.
So this is Connie Baxter Marlow.
Hello, everybody.
We're trying to get
Trying to get
Facebook
people.
Live working here.
Yeah.
I'm Andrew Cameron Bailey, and we have these extraordinary guests. Wowza, Elissa Lodge, who we adore and have known for a long, long, long time. And Oriana, who is just a relatively new friend, and we just love you. And your talent and your depth is extraordinary. So friends, anybody who's watching this, we've got some good company here.
Yes, yes, yes. Indeed, we do. And what this is about this week is we're kind of concluding, wrapping up the Dance of Souls, the relationship revolution, applying the trust frequency principles to relationships with self, others, and the universe. So we've had 22 weeks where Wowza and I and Andrew and Oriana has joined us the last several weeks, have explored the dynamics of applying our understanding of how loved we are by a conscious, loving universe to our understanding of our journey to wholeness, that we chose to incarnate on earth with a gift and a purpose on this journey to self love and self acceptance. and alignment with that gift and that purpose. So we just want to wrap this up, talk about being beloved, because once we get to that space, we understand that we are beloved, that we are so loved by the conscious loving universe that it gives us everything we ask for. See, that's the unconditional loving aspect of this love. And we don't know another soul's journey. And in the shame, blame paradigm, we don't touch base with our own soul's journey, which is that everything happens for us, not to us. And that every relationship comes into our life to show us our, I was going to say our shadow, but I want to say our light first,
Mhm.
and our shadow, those parts we don't love yet. So it's those trying relationships are in fact gifts to us. And once we get that and we go in gratitude for the trials and tribulations, even the abuse, even the horrible things that happen that we call not love, in this construct, they are love. So that's a big leap beyond good and evil, right and wrong, victim, perpetrator. Huge leap. We call it the big flip, because taking that big flip and getting into knowing how loved we are by everything that happens in our life, then our heart starts to open. And as our heart opens, we see more, we access more information about how the universe works. We access more abundance. We access the flow of the divine. And so, but we have to understand it is what we came here to do. It's the job we came here to do. So there's no shame, no blame, no karma. As far as we're concerned, it's not about paying retribution for what you did in a past life. None of that. No shame, no blame. We chose to come here to move into our divinity and align with our divinity, that all of us is welcome at the party. Those parts of ourselves we don't love yet. Those parts of ourselves we think people aren't going to love and don't want at the party. Well, guess what? Those parts are the special parts of us that we promised to bring to the party, and the whole universe is waiting for us to bring that gift to the party. So we're going to celebrate today being beloved, and also the challenges of coming to that place of knowing so deeply that we are beloved, that we are loved, and that all of this, everything that's happening on the planet right now is love, is the bringing, the cleansing of the shadow, cleansing of the parts of humanity, the whole collective that we've hidden from our true potential because we had a job to do. And that was to transmute fear, separation, scarcity, all those lower vibration aspects that we've built all our systems on, that we've all been showing up for. And now we get as a collective to move through that and move into giving abundance, knowing there's more tomorrow. So we give it away. We don't have to hoard it anymore, because we know there's an abundant universe that's going to take care of us with more abundance than we can fathom. Once we stop playing this lower frequency game of thinking we have to work to survive. Who made that up? We came here to give our gifts. And the whole universe is awaiting those gifts. So what Andrew's going to do, he's going to actually lead us in person in a little meditation to get us to that place of beloved, of gratitude, of knowing that we are so loved, that we're given everything we ask for. And what are our requests? Our consciousness. 7 aspects of our consciousness are our requests. Remember those? We just went through those for the past 7 weeks. And I'll actually say those right now, and then he will do a meditation, but I'll say those 7 aspects of our consciousness that are our requests to this conscious, loving universe. And there's another way of saying it, that they actually determine our vibratory level, our frequency, and the different frequencies have different laws. So whatever frequency we're in determines our reality. And that's proven by science in these times through quantum mechanics and through the understanding of the observer effect of our vibration, what we put our attention on, we create, because it depends what vibration we're at. So I'll say those 7 aspects in a sentence, and then we'll go on with Andrew's meditation. With expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest inner promptings, take committed action, and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dreams.
So let's sit with our spines erect, our feet, if we're sitting on a chair, our feet firmly on the floor. So we're really just anchored if we're sitting cross-legged on a couch or on a cushion, whatever it is, just our spines are erect. We're part of a continuum of awakening. You could almost say there's an 8th A. Connie just recited the 7 A's of consciousness there. And maybe they're all encapsulated in the other word in the English language that begins with A, awakening. We're on a journey of awakening. And this particular journey we have undertaken together these past many weeks, every Monday evening, has been a journey from, for some of us, a journey from victim to beloved. We're going to experience the state we have arrived at. Let's say we've been traveling on this beautiful journey with our friends here, using the technology of Zoom and Facebook. And we have heard many words, and we've felt many feelings, and we've thought many thoughts. And I would say that there's been a lot of wisdom exchanged, a lot of wisdom shared here on this journey. And those of us who felt, and who of us have never felt, that we are, for example, a victim of circumstance, we have learned that circumstance loves us. What a concept. You know, so many people, oh, we're victims of circumstance. But what if, as we now know, circumstance actually intervenes from time to time in our best laid plans and redirects us? Something happens. We get a flat tire in the desert, we're stuck, or an illness, or a circumstance we would not have chosen had we been given the opportunity. But looking back, we realize that we have been perfectly, divinely guided every step of the way from as long ago as we can remember to this very breath in this very moment. So let us just breathe and breathe. Inhale through your nose very gently and exhale through your nose very gently. It is important, in fact, to breathe both, to breathe, to inhale and exhale through the nose. It's an ancient Vedic or Hindu piece of wisdom. And it turns out that science supports that. By exhaling through our noses, we actually create certain substances which are essential to our health. And if we exhale always, or inhale and exhale through our mouths, we completely fail to do that. Interesting. So inhale gently and hold it at the top, just not huge, just gentle inhalation. And gentle, relaxed holding, and gentle, sweet exhalation. And let's just repeat that in silence a few times. It's really easy and it's really transformative. Every time we inhale, we are breathing, inhaling the same air that Buddha breathed. We're inhaling the same air that Jesus breathed. And all of the love and the beauty of our planet, the air, the oxygen, we're breathing that. And with each exhalation, we're giving it back. And we're giving it back with our love, with our wisdom, with our experience. And perhaps there was a time when we were disturbed or ignorant, not in a bad way, but just because we didn't know. And so we were anxious and we believed things that came from a place of fear or anxiety. And so we experienced stress. And we've now learned that we can let go of all of that, of every aspect of that. We can simply be here in this precious moment, this perfect, precious moment, just breathing, knowing that we are safe, knowing that we are loved by the most extraordinary thing that exists, the universe, the conscious, loving universe. We are held as we were held for 9 months in the wombs of our mothers, each and every human being. We've all had that experience, this experience. It doesn't end when we're born. We're still held, we're still loved, we're still supported, we're still nurtured in the womb of the Great Mother. We are beloved. What a wonderful thing to be beloved, to know that we are beloved. And that even the details that don't feel good at the time are part of that belovedness. And 3 more gentle inhalations. And on the 3rd exhalation, we'll come back together. and open our eyes. And here we are, beloved.
Wow.
Hello, beloveds.
Hello, beloved. Hello, hello, hello.
Here we are.
Wow.
Thank you for
That was
joining
beautiful.
me on that.
So do either of you ladies have any thoughts, any feelings, any thoughts on being beloved, walking in that knowing, challenges of that? There's always that.
Oriana, you want to start? There's no words. There's no words coming forth at the moment.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I do start my journal every morning with "Dear Beloved." Dear Beloved. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was definitely good to hear this. I'm rather reminding myself how quickly I can forget. Yeah, remember, there's that, right? The beloved, right? The universe is on your side. Remember that? Yeah, yeah.
Tell us about the challenges of remembering, of staying there.
Yeah,
That's
stay.
very real. And I think people would appreciate knowing that it's not that easy.
It isn't. It's yeah, yeah, to walk in that. Well, I'm trying to get a bit of a timeline of what happened this week. That was quite extraordinary. I had a tooth go bad about a week ago. I cracked a tooth. They put a temporary in it. The temporary failed, and the tooth got infected. So I went to an endodontist, only Randall had made the appointment through our insurance, and I got there 8 a.m. in the morning and was talking to who I thought was the endodontist. It turned out, no, I'm a dentist. You have to go to the specialist. So I had to make yet another appointment, and that didn't happen until Thursday. But Wednesday night, he and I went dancing, as we normally do on Wednesday and Saturdays. And I was just sitting, just kind of watching the band set up for a moment. I'm actually trying to just kind of get a sense of what it was that happened or transpired. But it was like, as I was sitting there, I was feeling this multidimensional reality, like seeing this sense of this 12 dimension that was all one being, and then all of that knowing coming in and somehow filtering into this little tiny 3-dimensional reality. And how did all that amazing expansion get compressed into something that we could know about? And it wasn't that it lasted very long. But in some ways it was just, I guess there really isn't words for it. It was just all of a sudden just kind of took me by surprise.
Wow.
I would say it was the pain medication, but ibuprofen isn't known to cause hallucination.
What a gift. What a gift.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. And there was something in it that felt this, oh, that's who's been calling me. That's who I keep telling me to show up. And it's not that I get like real clear guidance, although I do have guides, like most of us do, but it's more of a sense that I've had of almost like being a toddler, going, come on, you can do it. Come on, one more step. Oh, yeah, go, okay, get up, you can do it. Come on. So it's much more like that. Yeah. But then
12 dimensions.
oh, go ahead.
No, but no, go ahead.
12 dimensions.
12 dimensions came to you, right?
Well,
12?
I guess because I had heard somebody somewhere say they were channeling beings from the 12th dimension and, studying science and not knowing dimensionals that in the same quantum physics world doesn't quite equate to 12 dimensions. And so I just am saying that it was this beyond anything I'd ever perceived before. And yet it all seemed like this amazing light. But I guess what I sensed was that there was the presence of beings that were like one being, like a group consciousness, perhaps. Not quite sure, but it was this interesting, and that they were communicating directly with me. But again, it was more of a sense of, I know you're not going to understand our language, but come on, come this way. You're not quite sophisticated enough to understand anything yet, but you're doing great. Just keep going. One more step.
Wow, that's
Mm.
amazing.
There
Yeah.
is a book called The 12,
Ah,
right?
interesting.
Written by a man,
Mhm.
Bill Gladstone, who's actually our, anybody know Bill Gladstone? He was Barbara
I
Hubbard's
I
aide,
know personally Bill Gladstone. I
literally aide,
actually,
right. And he wrote this wonderful book called The 12.
yeah, I've
And
read that
there's
book.
the 13, which is the whole, the undivided 12. So there's actually 13, which is one, and the 12, and the search for these 12 masters on a journey. It's a novel. It's very cool. It just somehow reminded me of that. It also reminded me of Saint Germain and the 12 ascended masters who live in the temple at the heart of Mount Shasta. So that's what I got when you said that. So there's something going on there.
Mm,
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 Yeah,
mm,
well,
12,
it's
significant number.
yeah, and it just seems that this multidimensional aspect of ourselves is wanting us, like you said, come on, come on.
No,
You
you
know,
can do
you can do
it.
it, you can do it. And the energies on the planet are facilitating that now. The higher energies, I just heard that the sun, there's a portal where the sun's energies are coming through a portal. So it's all in alignment with my understanding that the earth is moving into a higher frequency. So we have more information available to us. And so these things are happening to people that you've just described, sitting there at the watching the band.
Yeah, I mean,
Set up,
You
not
know,
even,
you
not
weren't
even
on an
planned.
ayahuasca journey. You weren't,
Right.
in a sacred place. You weren't meditating or praying or anything. See, we're
didn't
just
do anything, but
get
just
it.
sit there.
We're gonna get it. That's what I know. Is that veil that separated us from this is thinning, 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 and we're just one day it's going to be, oh yeah, of course.
Well, the
Hey,
other
everyone.
Yeah, was the sense that they're communicating in a language that is what I have been being schooled up in. And it's a language of sensation. It's one that you feel and begin to recognize in the same way you can feel velvet, right? You know what velvet feels
right.
like. You know what silk feels like. You know the difference between those two. But how do you know that? There's no physical stimulus, but you know those sensations. And so these sensations that are communicated are more akin to the dolphin sending out a sonar wave and then reading the pattern, the interference pattern. And they really, science has just caught up with the fact that the dolphin not only see a picture, but they are capable of feeling the textures through it.
Mm.
It's their sense of touch.
Ooh,
So
their
it's
entire
akin
skin.
to reading these interference patterns as touch, feeling, sensation that's communicating intelligence. And when I first came across it, it was like sitting underneath a telegraph pole, hearing this beep, 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 and one day going, it's intelligent. Beep, 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 that something's being communicated that's intelligent. I wonder what the code is. And so that's what I've been working on ever since, in terms of how is it we read and literally feel in this deeper sensating perspective. What is that language? What is that communicating to us faster than thought? It's like water communicates through us in chilly bumps, when you get those goosebumps suddenly. It's faster than thought. You don't think those up, right? They're just all of a sudden, there they are. So
Or
it's
down the spine. Or,
yeah.
yeah. Wowza, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, one of the processes that I do, I'm looking out the window right now at the marina, this beautiful marina, and these cumulus clouds. And when I can do I am a cumulus cloud, and begin to breathe and sound and move with this subtle lightness and the whiteness and the fluffiness, I feel that love of cloud. And that's how I'm in walking. I don't care if it's, the homeless man. I am the homeless man. I am that wave that's part of this beautiful river. There is nothing I am not, the bud in the flower. Oh, and it's like just feeling my face as a flower. And there's always a look, it's always a smile. It's like I'm seeing faces in nature everywhere. I have a whole series of what I call earth altars, the faces of nature. And I would create a mask, and then actually, I have one, for instance, Moss Man, and was made out of all of these different kinds of moss, and then taking him back into the moss tree. And just doing ceremonies with the beauty of this moss. It doesn't matter where it is. I mean, the lichen, the shells, everywhere there is something that is tangibly loving us when I put the I am on it. And the we are, you are, we are. I do that little chant, I am, you are, we are. Oh my God. It's that same kind of mother-child quality of see me, be me, feel me. I am you, you are me. And that has carried me for a long time.
So beautiful. Putting the I am on it. When we really get that, it's not just words, and it sounds like you really get it, that it comes to it becomes you, and gift as well. So that we're all,
and that's just what this
toddler steps towards.
right. And this book is almost finished, an embodiment practice in doing this, and opening up the breath, opening up the voice, opening up the subtlety of movement, fluid movement, so that we can take on these shapes. We can be what we perceive. To me, is just unbelievably exciting and energizing beyond measure. Yeah, and it's giving the little self more of a ride on the boat. So it doesn't have to work so hard and constantly strive and stress to be more, and ending up feeling less. And that's what I feel is the little self. It's been cut off from the beloved. So it obviously doesn't feel enough, right? I mean, it doesn't feel enough. Or it feels, you know, it has to self-grandize, being so big that it overpowers. And when that alignment occurs, like with these fluffy clouds, ooh, no matter how dense and heavy, you know, I might feel or fatigue. I mean, oh, cloud, thank you, I am, you are, we are. The lightness of cloud. Mhm.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just on with a Siberian shaman person who was talking about the fact that our seven senses, that we only perceiving with those seven senses, that limits our ability to access these other dimensions. And so as we open our hearts, I believe, you know, that opens other ways of perceiving, and we connect on other levels and other dimensions. And many of us are able to do it here and now, but that's a gift. There's many of us that aren't able to do that, what you're just speaking about, Wowza. And Oriana, you know, that Oriana, that came to you in a flash. I know that you've accessed other dimensions and stuff in other times, but to have that come is such a gift.
It's unusual. And but here's what followed and why I went in about the dentist is the next morning I did go to the endodontist and they had to do a root canal, and you know, the dentist always says, well, just raise your left hand if you're feeling anything or if it gets uncomfortable. Well, my left hand just hit the ceiling just before I did, and they were scraping me off of it. I said, oh my God. He goes, oh, you were numb, but that nerve must have woken up. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, so then I had to put more number in there, and oh my God, then they scraped me off a second time. So about then, this connection with the divine beloved, somehow pain has a way of just kind of crashing everything into, oh my goodness. So finally I'm getting through that ordeal, so it's at least down to a dull roar now. But when you were asking what takes us out of that, I mean, why aren't we there all the time? Why don't I just know that all the time? Like, well, yeah. How come? I mean, I was so clear in that one moment. It was, oh yeah.
The next day.
And then the next thing is like the next step. Boom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I had an interesting experience with, I took the shot and from COVID and had really extreme fatigue. And I finally applied the I am. You mentioned sensation, you know, that it's a sensation. It's an energy. And when I took all the labels off of it, and all my life I've had some trouble sleeping. And it was funny because when I went, I just put the fatigue into an element of deep peace, you know, of a whole softening and letting go and surrendering to just this ultimate relaxation and rest. And it's really been remarkable, where I've slept better, I think, than I have in a very, very long time. And even in the dancing and the moving, you're like, oh, you know, to just be that vibration without judgment. And, you know, taking the labels in what fatigue means, well, I just put, you know, this relaxed, juicy, delicious peace, the bliss of peace, goes with me. And yeah, feeling much better.
Wow,
But
everybody,
it was amazing
it's been a while.
walking. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it just was amazing, the difference between fatigue and it's, creating a new perception around it that is more of the beloved, closer to the beloved. I don't think there's what can we not say the beloved is? Is there anything we can say the beloved is not?
Well, Oriana might say, pain.
Pain.
How do you turn extreme pain? Is there a way of the mind or of the spirit of something to take your experience while you're in it and transform it into something? I have no idea. Pain and I are not friends. I haven't experienced much pain in my life, but I wonder if there's a transmutational process one can do. I have no idea.
Well, for one, I mean, it's hard to think. I mean, thank God. I mean, it's the thoughts. I mean, to just be with the vibration of that energy and see where it takes you. But I mean, it's the thought like, oh my God, this is terrible, terrible, horrible. I'm dying, whatever all of the languaging we put on some of this is really the hardship, I think. But we know it doesn't last forever. We hope.
Yeah,
oh,
I
boy.
think maybe just being all inclusive, like, well, it's just
Yeah.
like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
I'll tell you what I developed. This is 25 years ago now, and I still do it. We all end up in the dentist chair sometime or other. And I was saying to Connie just this last week, there's a design flaw that if there's one thing that the loving universe didn't get right, it's dental. Come on, can we have teeth that last and don't go put us through this stuff? So, okay, I'm protesting a little there. What I once used to live on a beach, on a distant, remote beach on the island of Maui, and you could just be naked and free there forever. And I go back there, and I just leave this body that's going through whatever it's going through now, and I literally go away. I leave the body, let the dentist do whatever the dentist got to do to that body, and I'm in this crystal clear, these little tiny breaking waves, the sun setting and being refracted through the prisms of these waves. It's warm, it's loving, it's beautiful. There are friends. It's just a safe, beautiful escape. That's what I've done in the dentist chair. So I'd like to bring us back now to the focus of this closing session of this long series. We're going to take a break at this point because we're getting on the road. It's going to be challenging to continue to do this Monday night thing. So we think we'll see if we find ourselves in a place where we can do it. Perhaps we will. But the moment, this is like wrap up. This is conclusion. And tonight's has to do with being beloved, the experience of being beloved. And I suggested that some of us may have started this whole sequence in a sort of therapeutic sense, feeling like victims. Many of us do, I believe. And inshallah, as they say, God willing, some of us have come a long way since that. We can remember that, but we're not there anymore because now we are beloved. And there's another step beyond beloved. Because to say I am beloved implies that I am loved by something or someone. It actually implies separation. It implies that I am separate from the loving universe and the loving universe loves me, but I'm little me, and that's not quite it. There's a whole other thing where we get beyond being beloved is a wonderful state of consciousness. And it's a wonderful launch pad into the real reality, which is I am beyond beloved. I am, in fact, love. simply because there's nothing else in the universe. There's no other place to be. There's no place to escape to. So if the universe consists entirely of love and the energy that is manifested as everything we see and feel and experience, but it's all the divine emanation of love. And I am that. Well, as you used the expression, I am what? I am love. And once we can, and it's about remembering. That's where we came. That's where we're going to. That's what we are. And we go through this temporary, illusory, but very educational, remarkable, incredible experience called being a human being in a body. Wow. Once a human being in a body remembers, oh, I am love. You see the difference between I am loved. That's a major step. Like one of my biggest issues was I didn't necessarily feel lovable. Everybody had to go on a search to find that I was actually lovable. And if I'm lovable, therefore, there's a decent chance that I'm going to one day say, oh, I am loved. And which means the same thing as I am beloved. What if, way beyond that, in the oneness of unity, I simply am. And we don't even have to say the word love because there is nothing else. I just wanted to get that little one in there.
That little one.
That little one.
So the infinite universal human. I've been playing with all of that, to describe God, putting God in actually a more holistic, a more recent holistic perspective. There's so many different ways to language that.
Scientific perspective.
The unified field of which we're all a part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is love.
Yeah. There's nothing outside.
It's exactly that thing that's been called
love.
God and Allah and all of those other names of human.
Nothing outside it.
But it's simply,
Right.
I love the quantum mechanics term for it. How about the quantum vacuum? Same thing.
I know.
The quantum vacuum. What a term.
Right. That's so funny.
Particles are popping in and out.
Yes.
Some of the scientists now are saying it's a loving universe. I haven't heard anybody say that. We've coined that, the conscious loving universe. We came through with it in 2012 when we first wrote our book. We were actually writing a book called The Conscious Loving Universe, but we haven't heard anybody say that. But we have heard that with Jude Currivan calls it the consciousness of love. She's a major player in this breakthrough physics, and what do they actually call it? Philosophical physics. People that are combining philosophy, the sacredness of life, with the physics of life. And Irvin Laszlo, if you go to his website, it brings in love, the consciousness. I can't remember the phrase, but it is, they are speaking of love. I haven't heard Nassim talk about it yet, but as
he says one thing you can't say in any science conference is the C word, consciousness.
Oh,
right.
really still?
So that is shifting a little
Right.
bit. That's notoriously just
That's the way I like to
don't
put
go
it.
there.
That's the term physics. And there are two kinds of physics. There is physics, which is what we think we know. We call it physics. We call it quantum physics. We call it unified physics, whatever we call it. That's what we think we know. And then beyond that, it's another kind of physics called metaphysics. They're one and the same thing. It's just what we think we know and what we think we don't know. And yet it is all it is. If you really get real about it, and if you really get real about the real, it that which is described by science is likewise love, because there ain't nothing else. And there's just no alternative to that. It's
So
not
what
even-
I propose is, ladies, we keep this going. We wrap
all the
this
way-
up, the
let's go
dance
all the
of
way through the
souls.
men's group.
And
shall
here
we?
come the men. But we wrap this up this week, and then we continue on Monday nights, and we have these discussions about the physics, about the love,
You
about
mean
the
wherever
stuff,
we
the
are,
trust
we-
frequency.
we-
We talk about various aspects of this construct that we're bringing, the trust frequency, and we explore it together.
It's a
How about
really
that?
wonderful
And
conversation.
meanwhile,
Yeah.
we better get off. We'll stop Facebook Live, and we will let these men
Here
do their
come the men.
thing. Here come the men.
Hello, Randall.
Thank you,
Hello,
Wowza, Oriana. This-
All right, we're looking forward to seeing you both.
Yeah.
If you're coming for a visit. So
we'll have
that's
some fun.
lovely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and Wowza, see Wowza.
Yeah.
on our
And
trip
we'll
too.
be seeing
Yeah.
both of you soon. So yes,
Great,
getting on the road and hitting the
great.
wild American post-COVID
Our
highway.
nomadic selves. We'll have to see Nomad Land. We haven't seen that yet. Just won the Academy Award. Hi, Tony. How are you?
There you go.
So we'll let you go, guys. Oh, but I got a hand. Who wants the
Yeah.
Randall the Magnificent? Who wants who wants the host?
Randall just went into his office, so he'll probably grab it.
David, or who should I hand it to
Well,
before
hang
we
on,
go?
Yeah, because we can't.
Probably Randall.
Okay, I'll hand it to Randall because John is no longer, I understand.
And Oriana,
Make
just
host.
tell Randall then that he's now the host, and it's all up to him.
There he
you go.
is.
There he is. Hello, Randall.
Hey,
Who is that
Randall,
gorgeous guy?
Randall, we're hitting the road, and we're going to come see you guys.
coming to
so-
see us, so be prepared. Okay. Okay, we love you all. Have fun, you
All
guys.
right.
Hey.
Y'all, bye.
Bye-bye.
Trust a loving universe.
Trust the loving universe.